Jai Hind everyone. Hope all are fine at home. And so we will be starting with the second term, and the first chapter in history is Civilizing the Native, Educating the Nations. So basically, this chapter is dealing with how the Britishers thought that India needs or has to be changed, and they also thought that education is the only means by which the mentality of the Indians or development could be brought about in the Indian society. So before beginning, there are few words which are used in this chapter, and I will just give you a summary of those words. The first word is linguist, that is somebody who studies several languages. Then there is madrasa, we all are aware with this word, it is a place of learning, that is in Arabic. Then a new word is Orientalist. Who is an Orientalist? Somebody who has knowledge of a number of languages and who is well versed with the culture of Asia. Then there is a word called Munshi. Munshi is a person who can read, write and teach Persian. The next is vernacular. Vernacular means it is used as, or it is the Britishers used it to mark the difference between the local language which was used every day and the English. So it was a term generally used to refer to a local language as distinct from what was seen as the standard language. And during that time, that is colonial time, the British used this term to mark the difference between the local language of everyday use and English. So let us start. So this chapter begins, and it has to say that the British rule affected everyone, be it the Rajas or the Nawabs or the tribals. And the Britishers not only were always concerned about the territorial conquest, they also wanted to bring about a cultural change. And that cultural change was they wanted to civilize the people, change their customs and values which they thought were backward. So they always had a debate as to what should be the changes, how the changes can be brought forward. And so they thought that if the people became educated and they thought in more modern terms, things could be different. And this was a matter of debate, and they did not get any concrete answers regarding this matter. So the British thought that ideas of education was the only thing, or the education could only bring changes in the life of all the Indians. So we will be talking about few people who were there during that time, and let us begin with the first person, who is William Jones. Now who is William Jones? He was a Orientalist, now who came to India in 1783, and he had an appointment as a junior judge in the Supreme Court that the company had set up. In addition to being an expert in law, he was also a linguist. Now who is a linguist? Somebody who has studied Greek, Latin and so on. When he was in Calcutta, he began spending many hours with the Pandits who taught him about Sanskrit language, grammar, poetry and so on. Soon he was somebody who was very fond of the Indian text, especially the philosophy, religion, politics, morality and other subjects. He discovered that his interests were shared by many British officials who were living in Calcutta at that time, and he met a person named Henry Thomas Colebrook and Nathaniel Halhed, who were also discovering the ancient Indian heritage. Now these were the people who were very fond of the Indian culture, and they thought that India had a very rich cultural heritage in the past. Then these people started learning Indian languages and translating Sanskrit and Persian into English. Together these people set up Asiatic Researchers. Okay, and this was they set up Asiatic Society of Bengal, and they started a journal which was called as Asiatic Researchers. Now Jones and Colebrook came to present a very particular attitude towards the Indian culture. They shared, what was that special? They shared a very deep respect for the ancient culture, and then they also thought that things had declined during the present times, and in order to understand India, it was very necessary to discover the past, go through the text which were there during the ancient time. For only those texts could have revealed the real India which was there, and bring future development in India. So they went about discovering ancient texts, understanding the meaning, translating them, and making their finding known to others. This project, they believe, would not only help the British learn from Indian culture, but it would also help the Indians rediscover their own heritage and also understand the lost glories of their past. Now, influenced by such ideas, many company officials argued that the British thought to promote Indian rather than Western learning. They felt that the institution should be set up to encourage the study of Indian texts, to teach Sanskrit, Persian literature, poetry, and so on. And they also thought that the Hindus and the Muslims to be taught what they were familiar with, not with something new, that is English. So they also believed that Britishers could win a place in the hearts of the Indians only if they respected the past of the Indian people. With this object, what did they do? They set up a madrasa in Calcutta in 1781 to promote Arabic, Persian, and Islamic law, and a Hindu college was established in Banaras in 1791, which encouraged the study of Sanskrit text. Now, there were a few people who were against these Orientalists. One person was James Mill. So, the next topic is grave errors of the past. So, we know that from the earlier 19th century, many British officials, they were openly criticizing these Orientalists and their vision of learning. They said that the knowledge of the East was full of errors and there was no scientific thought. Ancient literature was not so serious, it was light-hearted, and they argued that it was wrong to be a part of the British and spend so much of effort in encouraging the study of Arabic and other languages. So we will be doing about this grave errors of the past in the next module. Till then, Jai Hind.